start our series, okay? History optional demystified. We have already discussed two topics. दो topics हमने बात कर लिया, अब बात करते हैं third topic के बारे में. This is one of the most important topic, okay? That is Indus Valley Civilizations. So in this topic, you're more or less you're going to get one question every year. So that's why it's very important. इसको अच्छे से करो so that you can get more marks in paper ones. Let us see the syllabus. So if you see the syllabus, it talks about the origin, dating, extent, characteristics, decline, survival, significance, and art and architecture. So very comprehensive topic, all right. And because of these things, large number of questions have come from these themes. हमने starting में आगे बात किया कि sources we had around 18. From the second theme we only had 5 questions, but here see the number of questions. Okay, here the number of questions are very high, around 26. Okay, and that can be differentiated under various heads. Like with respect to origin, hardly one question. With respect to decline, survival, and significance, we have seen around 6 questions. Then if we see the urban process and features, so features of urbanization, we have 7 questions, economy 5, religion and belief system twice, and the comparison of Harappa with Vedic period. So we have seen around 5 questions of that category. So what is important? You need to do this topic comprehensively. Okay, and for that I would recommend कि पूरा chapter ही पढ़ो उपिंदर सिंह का. That's how you can get more better understanding of this specific topic. All right, let us see the previous year questions. If we see the first question, origin. So the Indus Valley Civilization did not have an abrupt appearance. So there are various theories. Okay, one is the diffusion theory, which comes from the Sumerians. All right, that Mesopotamians they built the Harappan civilization. Second theory we have it the Vedic Aryans, they are the makers of the civilization. And the third theory with respect to origin we have it the indigenous theory of evolution. Third one is the most accepted one. That's why the question has come on this theory itself. Did not have an abrupt appearance. Discuss the statement. So you need to discuss the various theories, but if we start saying the arguments and the counter arguments, we'll come to know that the last theory or the indigenous theory is the most acceptable one. Now let us see how does the Indus Valley stand in view of its geographical expansion chronology in relation to Vedic civilization. So all of us know कि भाई इन दोनों को compare करने में काफी question आते हैं, ठीक है? So you need to do this, make map, and on the basis of this just show the areas which are under their control. All right. Next we can see decline, survival, and significance. So 15, 21, same type of question came. They asked the role of ecological factors in rise and downfall of Harappan civilization. Similarly, decline of Harappan civilization was caused by ecological degradation rather than external invasion. So with respect to decline, also there are multitude of theories. One of the most prominent would be the Aryan invasion. But this theory has been refuted by majority of the scholars. The most accepted one is ecological imbalance. We have theory of climate change, we have theory of flooding, we have various other theories. You need to understand all those theories, and on the basis of that, you need to come up with a conclusion. Last one, if you see the continuity of Indus into later ages was not confined to religious and spiritual fields alone. Meaning, we have one very important distinction of Indus Valley civilization, and that is majority of its culture has continued even after its decline. Decline does not mean large-scale killing of Harappans. It just means they migrated from the areas and they went towards Punjab, Haryana, as well as towards Gujarat. So it means these people migrated and they carried along the culture of Harappa rather than the decline of the culture also. So it was not a massacre. That's why UPSC has asked this question many times. Even in general studies in 2015, they asked the same kind of question. Okay. And next we can see same question got उसी को repeat हुआ. Then one question comes on circumstantial evidence. Indra stands convicted. Okay, so this is what the theory is of the Aryan decline. Okay, how Aryans were responsible for decline of Indus Valley civilization. So उसमें क्या है? One of the most important evidence that we have mentioning of the name Haryupya as well as mentioning of Indra as Purandar. So all those things you have to understand. You have to express the different views with respect to sudden end of the Indus Valley civilization. How would you explain the presence of those elements in Indian culture and civilization which are found to have existed in the Indus Valley period? So you have to talk about each and everything in political, economic, social, cultural, religious, art and architecture, everything that has continued. Now, the next thing that you see is with respect to the relationship of agriculture and how agriculture surplus leads to the beginning of urbanization in India. See the first question, how did mastery over agriculture act as a leverage for the rise of Harappan towns and cities, right? Second, archaeological evidences do not give direct access to the possible social and political dimension of the decline of Harappan civilization. What it does clearly indicate the Harappan culture underwent a gradual process of deurbanization. So we all know about the three phases, 3300 to 2600, that is the early Harappan phase. 2600 to 1900, that would be the mature Harappan phase. In the last phase, from 1900 BC to 1300 BC, that 600 years, that is the gradual process of decline that they are talking about. All right, that you need to explain. And why majority of the Harappan settlements, they are in the semi-arid region with saline groundwater. We need to talk about कि भाई these people were basically dependent upon the secondary economic activities. These were adapted to the circumstances also. There was system of carriage for irrigation purpose, as well as if we understand the monsoon link theory. Previously monsoon का जो main center point था, it was in the northwestern part of Indian subcontinent rather than जो अपना North India है. Alright, that's why because of these factors they were able to sustain. Then they asked water management. Okay, also asked the development of urbanization as well as element of urban civilization in the Harappan culture. How these factors were responsible for its decline. Okay, so you need to understand कि urbanization पे बहुत सारे क्वेश्चन आते हैं. You need to learn about the various features कि भाई ठीक है chessboard pattern follow कर रहे हैं, ठीक है. All those features also you need to understand. Division of cities into two parts, etc. Then we see the salient features of Indus Valley Civilization. Mention the important places along with the reason for decline. Account for the decline of major cities. Okay, so lot of focus on cities and their decline, because for different cities there were different reasons. If you see Mohenjo-daro, recurrent flooding. Okay, if you see Kalibangan, it could be earthquake or fire. Okay, so those cities, that's why they're asking the different reasons. All right, then was India civilized before the advent of the Aryans? So that is the one question that they have asked. And they have also asked about the appraisal of the town planning. So what level of town planning they have. Even in general studies, UPSC asked one question in 2014. What can we learn about the town planning from the Harappans? That's why you need to understand कितना अच्छा drainage system था उनके पास में, right? What better system of roads they were creating at 90 degrees, or their houses they were far away from the roads, ठीक है? और उनका जो windows है, they used to be on the other side so that dust अंदर ना आए. So all these important elements of planning you can see. Do you think the Harappan civilization had a diversity of subsistence base? So you need to talk about the agriculture, animal husbandry, marine resources. So ये direct Upinder Singh से पूछा गया. Then we see significance of steel and ceilings, which were having very important role in authentication of the property. Okay. And last, if we see discuss the pattern of trade during the Indus Valley Civilization. You talk about the trade. The trade can be differentiated into various things. Like first of all, you can talk about the overland route as well as the marine or sea route. Then you can talk about local trade, national trade, international trade. So different aspects of trade you need to come up with. Also mention the export, import, barter system, exchange system. All those points you need to mention in the trade. Then short essay on the external trade of Harappans. Now this short essay, अब ये तो आना बंद हो गया, ठीक है? But still you can practice the topic, but as such ऐसे question नहीं आने वाला है. Then we can say discuss the trade, cultural contact, and extent of the Indus Valley Civilization. So this is very easy. You just need to remember few points. All right. Then we can see our religion. So on religion, they have asked the religion of the Indus Valley Civilization and the burial customs. So both these topics, they are very easy to understand. John Marshall was the person who was able to outline the various artifacts, and on the basis of this, he just said these things are part of Harappan religion. So he did this in 1931. So on the basis of that introduction, you can always write about the mother goddess, okay, nature worship, fire worship, etc. Burial system of multiple types. So all those can be written. Now, if you see comparison, so they have compared no literary sources for Harappa as well as no archaeological source for the Vedic period. Explain. Similar kind of question was there in 2017. What kind, various views regarding the Vedic Harappan relationship in light of the latest discoveries. So there are lots of discoveries. Like if you see K.R. Kennedy's analysis, he says there was no substantial change in skeleton structure of northwest India after the decline of Harappan civilization. It means Vedic Aryan did not come directly after the Harappan civilization. It has only one meaning. Both of them, they are not related. But still, many historians, they have just able to connect the origin of Harappan civilization with Vedic Aryans as well as decline. So all those you need to write down, but come up with a final conclusion. Then we see analyze the differences and similarity between Indus Valley and Vedic cultures. Okay, that is very easy question. ठीक है, एक urban है, एक rural है, ठीक है. One is giving more priority to the female goddesses, one is giving more priority to the male goddesses, etc. So all those will be easy. Development of religious art and rituals in the Vedic age. Do they show any parallelism? So this is the continuity of the religion of the Harappans with the Vedic Aryan. Proto Shiva hai, nature worship hai, Ma Shakambari hai. All those points with respect to religion you can write down. Compare the economic, social and religious life of the Indus Valley people along with that of early Vedic people. So previously such question used to come on large scale. Okay, so we have just covered the important themes which you need to understand. Now if we see the sources, तो यहाँ पे पूरा chapter ही important है. This is one very important chapter. Why? Every year one question. एक रेशियो रहा है एक्सेप्ट 2020, 13 से लेके आप पेपर देखो टिल 2021, every year one question. It means this is the ultimate part of our syllabus. So there is around 40% of the syllabus जहाँ से 80% क्वेश्चन आते हैं. So this is the part of that 40%. All right. You need to understand कि यहाँ से क्वेश्चन ज़्यादा आते हैं तो इसको ज़्यादा अच्छे से पढ़ लेंगे तो there will be no loss. If you see chapter 1 बहुत important है of Upinder Singh because of the sources. 2, 3 very less important. All right. I would say because वहाँ से मैप ज़्यादा आता है, फिर hardly कभी कोई क्वेश्चन आता है. But if you see chapter number 4, that becomes very important. Okay, we have marked the important pages: origin, all right, relationship between early and mature Harappan phase, general features, Harappan cities, subsistence basis, all of that you can. Craft वाला part है वो थोड़ा छोड़ सकते हो. Okay, that is not that much important. Then religion, funerary practices, Harappan people, ठीक है, उनका literature, okay, literature और literacy rate to be more precise, as well as ruling elite, decline and significance of late Harappan phase. So this chapter is very crucial for our optional preparation. तो इसको यहाँ से भी कर लोगे, that would be suffice for your exam. But you need to understand various processes along with this chapter कि how urbanization happens. There are a lot of opinion given by V. Gordon Child, Robert McAdam, John Sitchberg. So all those historians have given viewpoints. V. Gordon Child come up with the characteristics of the urbanization. There should be 10 qualities. Only on the basis of that we can specifically describe one place as a city. So all those things you need to understand along with this. Okay. So I'll meet you in the next video. I hope you're understanding a lot of things about history optional और धीरे धीरे करके आप बहुत अच्छा improvement कर लोगे. So all the very best.